So the original Tesla car.
Does it cost more money?
The original?
Yes,
to get one that's
Tesla. Tesla started out with this Roadster.
No, okay. It's just how many EVs.
The actual cost is
Yes.
the power that you consume.
What year is this?
Which is still cheaper.
So this is a 2010 Tesla Roadster. It was manufactured November 22nd of 2010. It was delivered to me on December 19th of 2010. I've been the one and only owner. I drive it every day. It has 127,000 miles.
You know, Woodland had the first public Tesla charger
Yes.
in the country, probably in the world.
And it still has the charger there. Well, they've upgraded it,
Yes.
but they still have the chargers there. Now they've added Tesla superchargers as well.
Well, you're making it easy for them by taking off this canopy. With the canopy, you have to really.
So, a couple of misconceptions that are out there. A lot of people think that this is just a Lotus Elise that's been electrified, and that is very wrong. This is engineered by Lotus, and so there's a family resemblance with other Lotuses. Just like when you look at the S, the X, the 3, and the Y, they all have a Tesla family resemblance. This has a Lotus family resemblance. But because of the batteries, the electronics and everything else, and the weight of the batteries, Lotus engineered a brand new chassis. It's an aluminum space frame chassis, aluminum monocoque chassis, pardon me. The body is all handmade, it's all carbon fiber. You want to see the uncoated carbon fiber, it's here on the back. But it is all carbon fiber. There are some Lotus parts to this in order to get it through U.S. safety requirements, such as the windshield, steering column, airbags, brake calipers, roof structure. They're all direct replacements with Lotus, but as I mentioned, chassis, body parts, wheels, tires, brake rotors, all unique to the Roadster.
And what's the battery range?
Depends. Depends on how you drive it. The car has had an official range of 245 miles, but that's if you drove it at 45 miles at a constant speed on a flat surface. I drove this from Phoenix to San Diego, and there were no level 2, no level 3 chargers along the road. I made arrangements to charge at RV parks along the way, and I was able to drive 2 hours, stop at an RV park and charge for 3 because the most I could pull was 40 amps. And then drive 2 hours, charge for 3, and then I made my way to San Diego. One thing I did not figure out as I calculated the distance and where I needed to stop were the mountains. So after my last stop, and I didn't charge fully, I decided I'm going to charge enough to get me to the next charging location. As I'm going up the mountains, I'm thinking to myself, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it down. And I had a life preserver stop in case I wasn't even going to make that. Once I crested the mountains and started coming down, my range started going up. And by the time I reached my hotel at the San Diego Marina, I had everything back that I had when I left. One time I was also did another trip to San Diego, only this time I took the car on a flatbed. And I was staying in Palm Springs, drove to San Diego. Coming back, I decided to take the mountain road and go up and over. Coming down the mountain, when it got to the bottom of the mountain, it said I had 555 miles of range. After I drove a little bit further on a flat surface, that range dropped dramatically.
Recalculate.
Yes. And that's why I say, it depends. What I have found in practical miles, in driving at highway speeds, staying with traffic, I can comfortably go anywhere between 160 and 180 miles. I can stretch that out, slowing down. One thing that is noticeable is that as long as I stay below 70 miles per hour, the range is pretty constant. When I go above 70 miles an hour, the range starts to drop off very quickly. So, just some things.
Is Tesla still making this?
No. In fact, Tesla doesn't even service it.
Is
They
there
won't
much
even
of-
service it?
Nope.
Is there much of an aftermarket product?
Oh.
Nope. Now, when you say aftermarket, you talk about a resale?
Yeah, resale.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. If you go to a website called bringatrailer.com, you can see the history of this. Some of these have gone for over 200,000. There are about 3 service people that I know of who, 2 of them used to be Tesla employees who worked on these cars and set up their own shop to keep them going. One is in Seattle and one is in Hayward. And then there's another gentleman who started up a business of keeping these cars going because he owned one. He owned a business making commercial UPSs and realized that the electronics were the same as his business. And so he reverse engineered a lot of parts. He makes a lot of parts through 3D printing. And so the gentleman up in Seattle is Carl Medlock. Gentleman in Phoenix is Pete Gruber. And Jameson, I forgot his last name, is in Hayward. And Pete and Jameson have serviced my car. I had it serviced by Pete before I came out here, and he replaced some of the parts inside the PEM that had worn over time with 3D printed parts, new parts.
Wow. So why doesn't Tesla service it?
Because they fired all the people that were trained on them.
They only made a few thousand anyway.
So, so Elon met some engineers. They had built a car called the T0. He loved the concept, said, that's what we need to do to make to sell electric cars. We need to show the world that electric cars are not glorified golf carts, that they can be sexy, that they can be fast. And so he then contracted with Lotus Engineering to design and build the glider, which was the body and the chassis, ship it over to Palo Alto, where they then assembled everything else into it. Lotus only made 2,500 of these. They made it at their original factory in England, and once they made those 2,500, they shut down the factory and closed everything. The vendors who made all the parts for this car, they shut down the molds, got rid of them. And so when Tesla moved over to the Model S, and the Model S, the X, the Y, the 3, all have similar engineering, similar technology, which is totally different than this. Tesla didn't need the engineers who worked on this.
So could we have people sit in it to take a photo?
Yeah.
You want to sit in the car?
Hey, Max?
I would suggest only the passenger side because I have to show you a video on how to get on the driver's side.
Yeah. One thing getting in, another thing getting out.
The,
Actually, may I share your recommendations?
Are there
on
people
how
at
to
the
get
other
in?
cars too? Do you know?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
I can give you a short tour because we're not going to.
Okay.
So basically, you have 26 chargers here, EV box chargers.
Okay.
That we got 2018, and if you look down here, you can get a shot of where they are.
all I know is that they announced it.
And then over here on the other side.
Oh yeah.
What we needed was a panel upgrade and a new transformer. And that was the most expensive item. PG&E, basically the cost over $500,000, the whole setup. So that box there was a new. Under the tree, you see the old transformer here, and right next to it, the new one. Right back there, that last stuff. That's the new transformer.
Where?
That that cement thing is the
Oh.
new transformer.
Got it. Wow.
And then we have here, you needed also 26 fuses. And everything came into here. So this is a fuse box basically that provides the power to each individual chargers. They're all 32 amps, so on a 40 amp circuit. And we run 3 legs. That's about it.
You want to point out any other cars?
Well,
go
there's
to-
a Chevy Bolt there. There is a VW Golf electric vehicle. There is a Pacifica hybrid electric vehicle. He's plugged in. There's a VW ID4.
And the ones in the front are for the dealer
Yeah, for a dealer and one private person.
that go over
Yeah,
there.
yeah, because they're probably talking there.
Okay.
You're talking to him about it, and like, so he shows me the whole thing. He goes, well, like a light stuff. I might go, you can do it now. He goes, I don't have
Right, The old Citroen.
There's some camber that gets changed when you change the height of it, and that's why the brake was complaining, because I had my foot on the brake. And I'm going to bring it back to all-purpose, and I'll be leaving it standard for now. Yeah, it, let's see, it has, I don't know, as they would say, enough horsepower, but I can tell you the actual numbers if interested.
And it also,
Okay. It has 835 horsepower, 905 feet of torque, more than you need. 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. Stupid, crazy fast. Not that I would. I only do it to demonstrate it. I never drive it like that. EPA range with the 20-inch wheels is 384 miles. You can sit in if you like. You know.
All right. Thanks.
This vehicle has almost 13,000 miles on it.
When did you get it, or?
December of last year, December 18th of 22.
So you were early on the list?
Yes, in my case, 13 months. I was pretty quick. I hit a rock coming back from Washington, so it's gonna take me 2 months to get the windshield replaced, which is a pain. But they did say that if I started to leak, they would move me up. But the car has a lot of so-called. Oh, yeah, I should do that.
A lot of what?
It's
So-called.
a lot of. They call it Easter eggs.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have some storage,
Yeah.
additional storage. It comes with its own, portable charger, 110 or
220.
220 with a NEMA 1450, which is what you're going to find at every campground that has so-called 50 amp service. It has an E50. And you can plug it in. It's rated at, I think this is a 33 amp, so it's not the fastest, but it's still reasonable. When I go to a campground and I use it, I have charged enough the next day that it's not an issue. And I have a lot of adapters, so in case something happened, I have to just change things from one thing to another.
Yeah.
I haven't been an EV user since 17, as we learned.
Oh yeah.
That's one of the things. So, what else can I tell you?
Well, I think there's people in the back looking at the Tesla that are going to come around too.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Full-size spare.
Yeah.
You have the Mini Pro?
No, I do not. No, I do not. That they never deliver on that.
It's a cool one. I like it.
That's the
Yeah.
yeah. I call it a thing. It's a mouth and disposable vehicle. One body here, it's small. You can put two.
I know, yeah. I told Charlene she's in it.
What are you driving?
Oh, you're fine.
I have my, I have my,
You still do, yeah.
So I was told, yeah. 10 years old, 9, my son was up. I was so saw the Nissan crash. I go, it's unbelievable. That's got a new RS. He let me like check the whole thing out. It's great.
I am the non-75 and I am
Oh yeah, sorry.
I've seen some
An old girlfriend.
Let me not guess.
They are?
Where are we?
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. They're pretty slick looking.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Wow. It is really slick looking. Yeah, it's pretty slick. So there's, I see from that there's no front. That is the only downside. Yeah.
Wow. So no storage area, but
Oh, that's the air conditioner.
are these standard size wheels or are those oversized wheels?
That's the standard wheel. Almost every one of them has it. The difference is you can get them in black or you can get them in gray.
Really? That's a huge wheel. Wouldn't you get better range with a smaller wheel?
So I don't know about the dynamics of that. I know that, so whenever my initial starting in the car business 15 years ago was with Ford, and the super high fuel efficient Focus literally was larger hubcaps. And it was because tires are heavier than wheels are. The tire is heavier than the rim, is what they told me was the big deal then. But that was with a gas car. I don't know if it's the same on an electric car. I don't know if it was just cheaper for them to put all the same wheel and build them all that way.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you what the main thing is.
I heard part of it too was to keep the air resistance to it.
Probably to keep it more flat, yeah.
It fills up more than gas.
Are they? Oh, those are only 19?
This one here is 219. The highest one so that's when you go to the adventure.
But people are buying from, some people are not keeping it. I just saw one sell for 70,000. I got this, the only place you can get them is from Rivian. Rivian does not have dealers. So it's the same as Tesla. You go, it's a direct sales system. We saw